The air in the makeshift clinic was thick with the scent of antiseptic and a profound shared anxiety. Rain lashed against the corrugated metal roof, but inside, a different kind of storm was brewing. On a worn cot lay a young man, pale and still, his breath shallow. A ragged wound marred his abdomen, and a frantic medic, her brow furrowed with grim certainty, confirmed the worst. Shrapnel lodged dangerously close to vital organs. Surgical intervention in this remote, under-equipped location felt like a death sentence. Then a figure stepped forward, cloaked in the shadows of the flickering lamp. It was Remy LeBeau, Gambit. His usual playful smirk was gone, replaced by an intense focus, an almost meditative stillness that was startlingly out of character. He held no card, no staff. Instead, his gloved fingers hovered, barely touching, just above the injured man's skin. A soft, almost imperceptible hum filled the small space. Not the crackle of volatile energy, but something far subtler, a quiet thrum of power held in exquisite check. And then, something truly extraordinary happened. There was no flash, no explosion, not even a wisp of smoke. Instead, the edges of the wound seemed to shimmer, and tiny, metallic fragments, too small to see distinctly, but undeniably there, simply ceased to be. They didn't fly out, they didn't burn, they simply dissolved, like sugar in hot water, dwindling into nothingness. Remy's touch was impossibly light, yet undeniably effective. He moved his fingers methodically, tracing the unseen path of the lodged shrapnel, and with each focused gesture, more of the deadly fragments vanished, leaving behind only the clean edges of the wound, ready for a standard suture. The young man's breathing deepened, his feverish tension slowly easing. This wasn't the Gambit we knew. This wasn't the chaotic whirlwind of kinetic energy, the charming rogue whose calling card was an exploding playing card or a supercharged staff strike. This was something else entirely, a precise, almost surgical application of his formidable abilities. It was a moment that peeled back a layer, revealing a hidden truth about the very core of his power. At its heart, Gambit's mutant ability is the conversion of potential energy into kinetic energy. He can imbue an object with stored power and then, at will, release that energy, often with spectacular and destructive results. When he throws a playing card, it's not the card itself that's dangerous. It's the sudden, violent release of kinetic force that propels it like a miniature explosive. When he charges his staff, he's turning its latent molecular energy into raw, outward-blasting power. His usual style is defined by this outward burst, this dramatic expansion, a clear and forceful redirection of energy from potential to active, explosive motion. It's loud, it's flashy, it's undeniably effective in a fight. It embodies his very persona, a force of nature, unpredictable and untamed. But the shrapnel incident and other quiet, unheralded moments like it suggest a far deeper, more nuanced understanding of his power than he generally lets on. Instead of causing an object to violently explode outwards, he can cause it to dissolve. This isn't a lesser form of his power. It's a more refined, more controlled one. He isn't just making things go boom, he's manipulating the very bonds that hold matter together. Imagine the potential energy within an object not being released in one grand outward surge, but being gently, meticulously dissipated, pulled apart at a molecular level until it harmlessly melts away, or perhaps even into pure energy that is then reabsorbed or dispersed without impact. This dissolving ability speaks volumes. It's the difference between smashing a rock with a hammer and carefully carving it into a delicate sculpture. Both involve manipulating the rock, but one is about raw force, the other about exquisite control and precision. For Gambit to be able to disintegrate shrapnel from within a living person without damaging surrounding tissues, without causing any further trauma, requires an unimaginable level of molecular precision. It's like being able to unbake a cake ingredient by ingredient without making a mess. This contrasts so sharply with his usual chaotic, explosive fighting style that it begs the question, Why does he hide this level of mastery? Perhaps it's part of the persona, the charming rogue who never takes anything too seriously, certainly not himself. A flamboyant explosion fits the image, a quiet dissolution does not. Perhaps it's a strategic choice, a hidden ace up his sleeve that opponents never anticipate. Or perhaps, and this is a more poignant thought, it reveals a layer of discipline and control that he actively chooses to keep private, a quiet contrast to the boisterous energy he presents to the world. It suggests that beneath the Cajun patter and the flying cards lies a deeply disciplined mind, a master craftsman of energy manipulation who understands the nuances of force and control better than almost anyone. It's a powerful reminder that our public personas often belie deeper, more complex truths. Gambit, the walking explosion, the master of kinetic chaos, is also capable of a precise, surgical elegance that speaks to a level of profound mastery. He is not merely a force of destruction, he is a highly skilled artisan of energy, choosing when to unleash a storm and when to simply make a problem quietly disappear. This hidden discipline, this surgical side of Gambit's chaos, makes him a far richer and more compelling character than the superficial impression often allows. It makes us wonder what other quiet abilities, what other moments of unseen mastery truly define the heroes and villains we think we know so well. What are your thoughts on this hidden facet of Gambit's powers? Does it change your perception of him? Have you noticed other characters with a hidden depth to their abilities or personalities that contrast with their typical portrayal? Share your insights and reflections in the comments below. We always appreciate hearing your unique perspectives.